Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. And my name is the Crimson Sun, and my Cash App is Crimson989. Remember, all the funds go to me, just me, nobody else. So, also, I would like to shout out my channel. Here it is. My channel is I've posted 5 videos and I have 34 subscribers. I'm working. I'm trying my hardest. I'm getting there. You know, you know, my my title is Crimson Sun Reviews. I have 5 videos if you want to go and watch those. But today we're going to be reviewing Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. And I'm going to start this off by reading the description on the movie. Still reeling from the loss of Gamora, Peter Quill must rally his team to defend the universe and protect one of these of their own. If the mission is not completely successful, it could possibly lead to the end of the Guardians as we know them. So, spoilers ahead, by the way. Spoilers. Click back off this, and once you watch the movie, come back and watch this video, because this video will be posted to my YouTube channel. So, yep, let's get into it. So, first, I'll talk about the characters. Let's talk about the actors. I'll talk about Chris Pratt's part. Chris Pratt did really well in this movie. He was like, it really showed his character. Like, he was super sad after losing Gamora and he was a drunk. But then his friend got shot by Adam Warlock. Adam Warlock, they actually did really dim down Adam Warlock's character a lot, because in the comics he's more of a strong character, but now he's more of a joke. Like, but they explained this in the movie. They said the reason he acts this way is because, they said they took him out of the cocoon too early. So, might be a little bit of a lazy explanation, but at least we got explanation. And Groot, they're developing Groot's character really well. Now he's like middle age, like 25 in human years, but he's like maybe like 3 years old in like tree guy years. But there is a post-credit scene at the end, and I'll get to that once we move on. So, let's start from the beginning. So, Rocky Raccoon has on his headphones. He's walking around and stuff. And then Adam Warlock comes in flying, goes whoosh. And then he gets Rocky Raccoon. Rocky Raccoon is running all around all over the place. And then the Guardians of the Galaxy group up and, they go in and they try to beat Adam Warlock, but they can't before Adam Warlock hurts Raccoon. So Rocky Raccoon gets injured and then Adam Warlock runs away. So that's the main plot point for the movie. Adam Warlock injures Rocky Raccoon, and now he's on the verge of death. So they need to get this key code for Rocket to save him. But the actual thing, the key code to save him, was right in front of the bed. So that's a funny thing they included. They could have just looked right forward and looked at the bed, in front of the bed. But also, oh, thank you for the $10 donation. Thank you, Father, Dad. Thank you for the donation. So now let's see. Yeah, keep up the good work. The Crimson Sun, keep up the good work. Thank you, my dad, for the donation. Now, okay, so we got to the point where he's injured. So they go into this building and they're trying to take something. They're trying to have somebody tell them to take it, tell them to take the code. Like, they had somebody at gunpoint, and Gamora in this movie is like that. You can tell that's Thanos' daughter, because Gamora in this movie, she's really violent. She doesn't care for anybody. She holds people hostage. This really shows that the old Gamora had no mercy, just like her father. Which I think that's a good personality for Gamora, not this shy person. I think she had a really bad uprising. Her real parents were killed right in front of her, and then she was adopted by a murderous Titan. I I don't think I know children to that extent, but I do know some people that act like that, and I don't think they had those experiences with Thanos being their father. But we'll continue with the review. So let's talk about. Okay, so we were at the point where they have to go to the place, and then so they find this planet of like furry creatures. Like Rocket Raccoon was a failed experiment. He was a part of the 800 line, I think that was. So there was Rocket, there was Floor, there was Lila, and there was Teeps. Teeps was a walrus. Floor was a rabbit, and Lila was an otter, and Rocket Raccoon was a raccoon. So Rocket Raccoon, he was special because he was really smart, and they were mad at Rocket Raccoon because he was smarter than most of them, because he figured out how to make the animals not aggressive. He like pointed at a tank and he said that's why they're being aggressive, because of that fluid you're throwing into him. And then they were super shocked when they said that. And I I would be pretty mad too if if I created something like a robot. If I make a robot and it's smarter than me, I would be a little bit mad too. That's how I bet. That's how I bet the people who made those chess robots are. Imagine making a robot and then it's smarter than you, is better than you at the game when you made the algorithm. That would be pretty. I would be pretty mad too. So then after they figured out the 899, the 800 line, it became useless because they didn't need him anymore. They got what they wanted out of him. So they were planning on killing them, but they planned on killing the 800 line, which is 4 creatures, and they're all super smart, and they were the base for this new species they planned on creating. And yeah, so they were gonna kill them in the morning. So Rocket Raccoon, he had been stealing things that could open the door, and then once he got all the components that he needed, he just slid it, and he got out. And then and then the villain of this movie, I forgot his name. What was the villain's name? I think the villain's name. They didn't put the brother up. He was black. I don't think they wanted to put him. Okay, so the actor's name is Chukwudi Iwuji. Wow, that's a hard name. It's a little bit of a hard name. Sorry if I mispronounced that. So the villain of this movie is the High Evolutionary, which is a really easily hateable person, because he tests on these raccoons. He tests on these poor little creatures. Oh, thank you, Emmett Ben Israel, for the $10 super sticker. Remember, everybody, that all these donations go to me, not anybody else, because after all, this is my show. All right. So yeah, he's a really easily hateable character, because he's testing on all of these poor animals, and all these animals, they didn't even sign up for this. He actually stole these animals from Earth. So yeah. Also, yeah, so his plan was to make this planet of Earth, both out all the bigotry and hating stuff, but at the end, all the bigotry and hating stuff was still there. So he planned on destroying the planet and moving on, because he had Rocket Raccoon in his clutches, so that's all he needed. That's all he wanted. So let's get back to Rocket Raccoon. So the High Evolutionary, he was right at the door when Rocket Raccoon escaped, and all the other people were. So the people started shooting at all the other people, and they died. But that's sad. Really, really sad, because they were just some poor little animal. Oh, thank you, Black Sand, for the $9.99, the $10 donation. Thank you very much. So what was I saying? Where was I? Yeah, so they all got shot, and then that made Rocket Raccoon very angry. And I feel pretty bad for them, because I really like animals. I like furry little animals. I actually have a cat. My cat's super cute, kitty little kitty. This is my cat. His name is Kiri, like from Avatar. Say hi, Kiri. Say hi. All right, buddy. You can go now. Here you go. Here you go, buddy. All right, so that's my cat. So I really synthesized for these animals. I love animals. Not all animals. Do not love all animals. Some animals are mean, so you should stay away from them. But I used to be allergic to a lot of animals because I had a lot of allergies. I used to be allergic to dogs and cats and birds. So crabs, fish, shrimp. I used to be allergic to everything. I'm actually allergic to latex. Latex. I'm allergic to plastic. So if I put a glove on, I get a rash. So I couldn't go to the beach because it was salt water and I had eczema. So my skin would burn. So I've came a long way. I've came a very long way in my process of skincare and stuff. My hands are clean now, but my brother got the good side of the sick, if you would say that. He came out when he didn't have any allergies. He didn't have he could eat everything. I couldn't even the cake. I have a picture of me on a birthday and it was a chocolate cake and I had my hand like this, nom, nom, and I was eating up the chocolate cake and so couldn't eat anything. I eat the chocolate cake, and then my dad tells me that my stomach was hurting really bad after eating the chocolate cake. So where was I? Okay, so all the people die, and then Rocket Raccoon escapes on the spaceship. But when they were making him, they put a kill device on his heart. So that's what they needed. They needed the code to deactivate the kill device. Okay, so now we're at the part where Rocket Raccoon escapes, and throughout this movie, they show a lot of sentimental, like, parts of Rocket Raccoon's growing up. He grew up with a bunch of friends, and all he wanted to do, because all of them thought they were gonna go to Counter Earth. That's the name of the planet that the High Evolutionary was creating, Counter Earth. So it was a place where Earth, no bigotry, and there was just animal people. I think the animal people looked a little bit ugly. Just my opinion. I think this is how I think they look. I think they kicked the ball at the little kid's face. I thought that was funny. I thought that scene was really hilarious. That one's actually in the trailer. That's how funny they thought it was. But also in this movie they have dropped like one of the first F-bombs in Marvel history. One of 3, I think. So like that's the 3rd one in Marvel history. Out of like the maybe 40 movies Marvel has made, they've only had 3 F-bombs, which I think is a pretty good record. Pretty good record. But it was like a valuable F-bomb cuz it was like a funny one, and some shows they like just throwing their curse words around. I don't use curse words. I'm a very good child and I am a very upstanding child. I mean, that's all I can say. But we're gonna continue this. Okay, so yeah, and they made it to Counter Earth, and then they make it to the big giant. Thank you, Kip. Like he getting better and better at this. Thank you very much. I'm trying my hardest. Okay, and so they make it to Counter Earth, and they land on this planet, and then all the people surround the planet. All the people surround the spacecraft, and they're just looking there, but they speak a different language, so nobody knows what they're saying. So Drax, he walks out the ship and stuff. He walks out the ship, and then a kid rolls a ball to him, and then he throws the ball back at the kid, but the kid is short, so it hit the kid dead in the face, and everybody started running around. That was a very funny scene. I love that scene. Very hilarious. But then they approach a house and they ask like if they have a car or a phone. And they had Mantis. Oh, let's talk about Mantis's character. In the comics, Mantis is a very smart character, but she wasn't that funny in the comics. So, it's different. I like Mantis's MCU character. I feel like she contributes a lot to the team. She's like C3PO, but a little bit, but more useful. She's like C3PO, but more useful because she's translate. because she translates for them. So that's what Mantis did. She translated I forgot what the creatures were called. I'm sorry. All right, so she translates the language of the counter Earth beings. That's what I'll call them. The counter Earth beings. She translated and she says, they're telling them about the planet, and they told them that the big triangle is where the high evolutionary is. So yeah, so Nebula and Star Lord and Groot, they go to Nebula, Star Lord, and Groot. So they go to the High Evolutionaries pyramid, if you want to call it that. So they go to the High Evolutionaries pyramid, and then they're talking to him, and then they're talking and stuff, and and the High Evolutionary asks, "Where's Rocket Raccoon?" But he already knows where Rocket Raccoon is. Do you watch the previous movies to understand the plot of this one? Do you need to watch the previous movies to understand the plot of this one? Mm, could it be a standalone? I guess that's what you're asking me. Not really. No, you would have to watch. You would have to watch Infinity Wars, because that's where Gamora dies, and you would have to watch Endgame because that's when Gamora comes back. And you would probably have to watch volumes 2 and 1, because that's where they build their relationships. Thank you, Beretta9, for the $5 donation. Love the commercials you were in your younger brother. He will fight for your rights. Yeah, now Daddy will fight for your rights. All right. So Nebula and Star-Lord and Groot, they go to the pyramid, and they approach them, and they're asking these questions, and the High Evolutionary asks, "Where's Rocket?" But he actually he already knows where Rocket Raccoon is. And Adam Warlock is on this planet too. So there's this pig one, and there's Adam Warlock, and they're both going onto the ship to get Rocket Raccoon. But Adam Warlock beats the pig girl. The Adam Warlock kills the pig person, and because he wants the credit, because if he doesn't get Rocket Raccoon, the High Evolutionary says he's gonna blow up the planet. My daddy will forever your lights. I love that. The outline. Thank you. And Christopher Belizaire, since you're an MMA fighter, would you contemplate being a superhero similar to Marvel characters? Yes, a million times yes. I would love to be a superhero, a Jedi, any action movie, to be honest. I would love to be in an action movie. My favorite Star Wars movie is Episode 3, and I really love Star Wars. My favorite episode is Episode 3. Hayden Christensen's performance as Anakin was elegant. It was beautiful. The scenery was amazing. The CGI was really good, and the fights were super good as well. So, let's get back to the movie. What was I saying? Thank you all for the donations. Remember, all these donations are me, nobody else. And do not forget my Cash App. My Cash App is Crimson989. All right. So the High Evolutionary, join my channel as well. It really, really helps me a lot. So, gives me that money. You are already on your path to be a superhero. Thank you. I really like that. Those are some nice comments you all are leaving me. You guys say some mean stuff to my dad, but I appreciate you guys saying nice stuff to me. Because I'm a nice person. I am a very nice person. You're nice to me. I'm nice to you. So, I don't want any problems with anybody. You're getting the training intelligent. You got the training and intelligent. Your dad's a superhero to me. I'm pretty sure my dad appreciates that very much. My dad has impacted a lot of people's lives in his lifetime in good ways. So now we'll get back to the movie. Groot so now Groot is a tree, so he has guns inside of him. So Star-Lord gets his guns, and Star-Lord gets his guns, and then he gets his guns and he starts shooting everywhere, and then he has to go out a window, and then he jumps out the window as an escape plan, and then he slides down, he's in the moats, and then the ship is coming to get him, so he grabs onto the ship. But then, I have to wrap this up because we're about to get to the 25 mark line. Dad says I gotta go. But, so they escape, but then there's still Mantis and Drax are on the planet, so I have to go get them. But then they get to Nowhere, which is the island, the world that they're protecting. They get to Nowhere. Nowhere is their like galactic region. It's actually this super huge skull that I didn't even know it was a skull. So I guess you wouldn't know it's a skull without watching this movie, or if they showed it in volume 2. But we'll get Braxton the snake friend. You might have trouble with your father though if you out him again like that you did in the stream. Haha, shake my head. No comment on that one. I have done nothing wrong in my lifetime. I'm an innocent child. Where was I? So they're off the planet and now they have to get all these animal children to Nowhere so they can, because you don't want to just let some poor children just die. They could try to save these kids. So they go on the ship and they have this really, really cool fighting scene. And so now they have this really cool fighting scene and they rescue all the kids. And Mantis and Nebula's what's it called? Relationship is very funny in this movie. So Mantis is like the one that only gets mad if you're mad. So Nebula screams and Mantis screams and it's a back and forth. And then Drax has to stop them. And then they say in this movie, Drax was made to be a father, which is very funny. I think that was a good description on Drax because the whole reason he's called Drax the Destroyer is because Thanos and Ronan killed his wife and child. And, they're doing a lot with fathers in the Marvel MCU. Tony Stark's daughter, Thor's daughter, what's his name? The guy I just said. Drax the Destroyer. Drax the Destroyer. A lot of fathers in the Marvel MCU and stuff. That's a very good, what's it called? Very good stereotype to be putting out there. So now we're back to the part where they're saving the children and stuff, but then the ship is about to explode, and then Rocket Raccoon is inside, and then he's saving the raccoons and stuff and all the other animals. So, but then the High Evolutionary comes up. So, but then he's about to kill Rocket Raccoon. But then all the other Guardians of the Galaxy come out and they just start beating up the High Evolutionary. And then they take off his face mask and they say something like, his whole thing, it was cyberkinetic stuff back here and like an actual face right here. So all his face stuff comes off and they said he says, I just wanted to make things perfect. But then they said something cool. I forgot. I'm sorry. It was something like, no, you just wanted to make things how you wanted them to be, playing God, but being selfish, not liking the designs of nature. We learn why he's so angry because he's ugly. He looks like the Terminator, scratch his face all up. He's not perfect. We can tell that much. Rocket scratch his face all up with his claws like this because he's a raccoon. Those raccoon claws do hurt. That's why he was so mad with Rocket. Also for blowing up his stuff and stuff. So now that was a cool fight scene. So all the Guardians jump the High Evolutionary. They save the animals. But then his cassette tape, it drops and it slides down. And he has to slide under all these obstacles to get it. And then he's in space. But then, you can't survive you can only survive 2 seconds in space. So he freezes up and all his skin starts inflating. But then Adam Warlock, because they save Adam Warlock, they let Adam Warlock live. They gave him a second chance because they said everybody deserves second chance. So Adam Warlock came in and he saved Star-Lord. And, he came in, saved Star-Lord. And then everybody was happy. Nobody died. It was a close call. It was a very good movie without anybody dying. So then, I learned that as a 13-year-old, coming from a 13-year-old's perspective of this movie, you know, uh you should appreciate life and stuff, because when Star Lord was with Gamora, he was always happy, but maybe he didn't appreciate it that much. But now that he didn't have Gamora and he had this rude, mean, aggressive tyrant Gamora, he really misses those old days. That's what I learned from this movie. So you got to treat your girlfriend nice, treat your wife nice. You always want to come home to a clean, nice house, or or you both want to come home to a clean, nice house if you're both working. Gotta stay woke nowadays. Yep. Be nice. Just be nice. Just be nice. Because he didn't like how she turned out. She came back mean and aggressive. All right, we'll wrap this up. So we're at the part where they're all dancing and partying. That's a common trope with Guardians of the Galaxy. They all end with everybody dancing and partying. In the end of Guardians of the Galaxy 1, they're all dancing with Ronan. Dance right, and the ending of Guardians 2, they're dancing. And in the end of Volume 3, they're dancing because all the children, and they started playing music, And I think this is, so, yeah. Okay, we'll wrap it up. So all the Guardians agree to split up. They all want to explore the universe and stuff. And then, yeah, now we'll talk about if this is good for you to bring your children, your grandma, your grandpa, your family, your kids. Okay, 8-year-olds and below, yes. It's just one F-bomb, you just need to talk to them about that part. Just tell them don't say that word. But yeah, you can watch them. 12 plus, yep. Will your grandpa enjoy it? Yeah, it's a good laugh. It's a good laugh movie. Grandma enjoy it. Well, somebody between the ages of 20 and 50 enjoy it? Yes. It's a movie for all ages. My dad enjoyed it. He personally was laughing the whole way and talking. So we'll talk through the movie too. Talking through the movie. I don't want to say anything. I don't want to say any stereotypes about a specific group of people talking through movies. But my dad is one of them. That's all I'll say. But all right. So we'll talk about the post-credit scene. So the post-credit scene consists of a couple of characters. It was the guy that took, what's his name? The arrow guy, Yondu, Krill's dad, Peter Quill's dad. So the new Guardians of the Galaxy, it was Adam Warlock, it was Sean Gray, who was Kraglin, and it was Groot, and some new character. It was a bunny, and Adam Warlock. Yeah, I said him. All right. So post-credit scene, they're protecting the city, and there's a bunch of herds. So then they're laying down on something. You think it's a rock, but it's actually King Groot. I'll show you guys. What King Groot looks like. I'll show you. King Groot is this is King Groot. Yeah, this is a good example of King Groot. King Groot is Groot when his horns grow out. See, this is a picture from the actual movie. King Groot, see, that's not it. This one. His horns grown huge. So that's King Groot. So they're probably setting up Guardians of the Galaxy. They're probably setting up a Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 4. That's a good movie. Maybe Groot is the main character. I think that would be a great movie idea. So now there's actually 2, but one is the one they actually want you to see. The second one is just to tell you it's over. So the second one is Peter Quill and his grandpa eating some cereal together. And they're eating the cereal and they're saying, "I don't want to mow the lawn" or something. It takes you a while to understand it because it's a little odd, just random. So Quill doesn't want to mow the neighbor's lawn. and stuff. So he says, I don't want to mow the lawn. And the grandpa says, you have to. And he says, well, her grandson is right on the porch. And then he says, you have to do it anyways. But, that's a funny part. And now, final wrap this up. Time for my final review. I give this movie, drum roll, I give this movie a 9.3 out of 10. Thank you all. And Crimson Sun exiting out.